We recording?
We're recording.
Okay. How's this work? You talk first, I talk first? What's happening, everybody? This is Part-Time Nerds. That's our name, right?
Part-Time Nerds.
Okay. I am Contrand. You are?
Raymond Aludino.
This is kind of an idea that we've been talking about for a couple months now.
Over a year.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yep. I think I first brought it up to you, when we were walking IKEA?
So, never mind. Just 2 months ago.
Okay. So, we were walking through IKEA, and I was mulling it over. You know, I'm pretty bored on the weekends. Figured, let's try this.
Yeah, and what's something to do that's not our regular job. You know, you never know what'll happen.
Part of the reason why I wanted to do this podcast is you and I are constantly arguing.
Yeah.
But, you know, about stuff that matters to us. But,
But just us.
But here's the
People
thing.
should know.
We're always yelling at each other as a joke when we disagree about things. We never actually go into detail.
Divulge into the actual detail of it all.
I have no idea
We'll
why.
have one comment and it'll just go ramble off into just random.
Yeah, and I want to make this clear. We're pretty close friends, and for the most part, I'd say we agree about most things.
Yeah.
But whenever we disagree, we always just kind of turn it into a hyperbole.
It's just a hyperbolic rambling.
Time chamber
yelling. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a great game.
Oh, it is, by the way.
All right, next.
I kind of see this as a side project, a little fun.
Yeah, it's just for fun. Like we said, it's a hobby. But, you know, hopefully it turns into something else. That's why, you know, we just started with some basic gear here.
Well, I got some ulterior motives, but we'll get into that. But on the other hand, I also see this as a part-time nerds because, you know, we generally have interests that are pretty close to what people would call the nerd culture, you know, technology, phones.
Yeah, they're pretty aligned. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but in no way would we ever call ourselves an expert in any of those fields.
Yeah, like a super geek. But we're still involved in these things.
Yeah, we don't want to be associated with you actual nerds.
Oh, okay. That's how we end our podcast.
Oh, there you go. Don't worry, we'll fix it in post. Oh yeah, by the way, apologies if you guys hear a saw in the background. That's what we're working with today.
Yeah, so. We're here at my little townhouse here, and they're working, painting. Of course, on the day we first tried this little podcast thing out.
Yeah, well, we were fantastic at planning because they've been out there for, 3 months? Maybe we should have done this
I know. I think they pretty much gave us a notice, and
If it was a written notice, it doesn't matter. It needs to be by email.
Email?
Yeah, if they were serious, it'd be electronic. That's my policy.
Well, we can't even say that we're that good at this. It took us like an hour just to set this whole podcast thing up in the first place.
Yeah, just to give you a kind of a idea of how good we are, we were exporting the file and couldn't figure out why the export was silent.
We couldn't hear anything.
It's because we hit record about 20 seconds before we actually said anything.
So this whole time we thought there was something wrong with the input, the output. But no, we were just...
User error.
We're trying to YouTube this, Google this, trying to figure this out, and nothing happened.
Yeah, well...
Let's go into the first topic of this
part-time. Yeah, first topic of the day. The Google Pixel XL, 2 XL, my bad. See, part-time nerd, sorry.
Part-time, see, that's why we're part-time. You don't really know. Is it Pixel 2 or Pixel XL 2?
Yeah, it's ever since this project, even before, like, Google started releasing the Pixels when the Nexus lines were coming out. That was, like, kind of always our main interest when we were talking about in college.
Yeah, exactly. I had the iPhone, but I always eyeing that Nexus, trying to figure out, is this the time to jump in?
Yeah, Mr. iNexus is over here.
Yeah,
right? Yep. Walking around with his iPhone 6 and his Nexus 5. Oh, no, that's not what it was.
No, it was iPhone 5.
But when you started the whole iNexus thing, it's because when you jailbroke
I jailbroke my iPhone 5. And then I also jailbroke
the 6. You jailbroke your iPhone 6, and then you added widgets, like a weather widget in front of you and call it iNexus.
And then it is. It's a Nexus now. It has a widget on the screen.
You know, our whole friendship is based off on memes that last maybe a couple of months too long.
And it's already dead, but we're still riding that wave.
Anyway, so back to what we were talking about originally. So you were on the iPhone 5.
iPhone 5, yep.
And then you switched over to the Nexus 5, correct?
That is correct.
What was the deal with that? I know the deal with it, but I feel like I've never forgiven you for doing that, and I feel like the crowd...
Wait, forgive me what? Switching the iPhone 5 to Nexus 5? Or?
Yeah, you went from the iPhone 5 to the Nexus 5 to the iPhone 6.
Oh, okay. So you're asking me why I switched back to 6. So I think it was within, 6-7 months. So I had the Nexus 5 between senior year of college. 6 months, and that's during our summer break. So everyone's, last month or so, I had the Nexus 5, right? Mm-hmm. Come back, had the iPhone 6, but I was hiding that from everyone.
Mostly me.
Mostly you.
You knew that I was the only one.
You're the main reason why I was hiding it.
I was gonna be the only one that was gonna care. So, anyways, I've Nexus 5. What were your issues with it?
First of all, the battery. Well, actually, no. If I'm going to do a list, first issue I had with the Nexus 5, but I understand why, because it was a great price point. It was the camera.
Yeah, what was it, like $350 when it came out?
That's amazing.
Oh.
That's destroyed all the mid-tier smartphones at the time.
At the time, the iPhone 5, it was still like $600 or
the 5S, yeah,
$200 on contract, but no one bought like a contract-free phone at the time.
Exactly. This thing was off contract for $350. I understand they had to make a sacrifice there in the camera quality.
So you're saying camera was a bigger issue.
That was the main issue. It just wasn't good. Everything was great. It wasn't even as good as my iPhone 5.
Right, but this was at the time where you can basically, as a general statement, say that iPhone cameras were awesome, and every single Android camera in the world was terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was years ago, though. So exactly,
it's a different story now. I would hope, right?
It's a different story now. That's why I don't have it. I have a Pixel 2 XL now. But yeah, if we're gonna keep continuing on that list, issue was the camera, the battery. But other than that, everything else was a great experience.
Yeah, the phone for the time, the material.
Yeah, because we always have to speak in context of the time.
Right. It was a rubberized plastic phone, but it was a really nice rubberized plastic phone.
Yeah, nice and durable. I don't have to worry about scratching this and that.
Design was clean.
It wasn't astonishing, but it's clean. It's good enough.
I think this was the same year that the HTC One M8 came out.
Okay, yeah.
But that was no.
That was the M7.
Excuse me, I meant the M7.
Okay,
that's what one of our friends had. That was the only Android phone that was a metal back.
Yeah, that's when they were starting this premium run at the iPhone. It was a big deal at the time.
I think it's safe to say that was the first phone that had a premium hardware in terms of build material.
To match and you can argue surpass the iPhones at the time.
I would argue it, but...
Oh, no, yes. I'm trying to be politically correct.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's be clear here. I'm definitely better than I was in the past, but I've always kind of pretty much admitted I am an Apple hater. I've always tried to fight it, but I know it's in me. But, we'll get into that sometime.
Yeah.
Any other issues, really? Oh, I remember...
what else was there?
The screen itself was a little washed out.
Yeah, the screen itself wasn't that great. Another thing that they had to make a compromise on,
which is
because the price is amazing,
which is apparently something Google has not learned in the following 3 years.
It has not learned.
Which we'll get to.
Because this time the Pixel it's premium priced and it's still.
I freaking love that phone, especially with the black and white Stormtrooper look.
I know.
And they brought it back.
And they introduced later a red version of that too.
Did they? I don't. Yeah,
they had a hot red one. I think I was debating getting that or that.
Oh my God! Apple copied Google. Anyways, so you had the iPhone 6, and we'll get to your. You were so obsessed with calling yourself the iNexus.
I wanted to maintain the I just felt so loyal to Nexus, but then I couldn't deal with the main thing was the battery. Yeah, the camera's more important to me, but the battery was so bad that I had to switch.
Yeah, so that was your maiden voyage to Android.
Android, yeah, Nexus 5. I had the iPhone 6. What did you have at the time? You had the M8?
The summer that you swapped over to the iPhone 6, that's when I got the HTC One M8.
I remember this where we're trying to compare the cameras, how it got better.
Yeah.
And I remember there was this little festival event at school where we're comparing cameras. I was comparing my iPhone 6 camera with one of our friends. He had the M7.
Yeah.
And it looked super nice.
One M7,
HTC One M7, yep. And the actual image, the subject in the viewfinder looks so nice on the M7.
Yeah.
We were just assuming, see, it's even better than the iPhone 6.
Yeah, you should have stopped me at the time. I just kept rolling with it.
Yeah, and then all our other friends were piggybacking on Khan's statements and comments.
Yeah, we were talking camera quality, and I was talking picture quality in the viewfinder.
In the viewfinder.
So here's the problem. I think the M7 did it have a 720p screen?
No, it had 1080.
It had a 1080
Pretty sure it's 1080.
I think that's what we were looking at. The screen quality on the viewfinder was better. We were actually comparing photos.
Because he has the iPhone 6 750 or something like that?
Yeah, but for people who not in the know,
yeah,
the M7 was the first big phone that tried to sell everyone on the idea that less pixels but bigger pixels.
Oh, and the camera sensor.
Which, they were absolutely correct. But the problem is they just went way too low on the pixel count.
Yeah, I think they could have done a better job on balancing that. Because, the low light's amazing.
It was a 4 megapixel camera. I don't know what...
But you need more than that,
Yeah, I don't know what resolution that translates into video, but it was terrible.
It wasn't great at all. That's why I was triggered. I remember I got triggered. I made this long text block while we were waiting in line for that little festival.
Yep.
I don't know who I texted it to.
It might have been to me.
It was a long text. I was throwing out links like, oh, this is why this is better. Such a child.
Oh, you gotta let yourself get riled up about the things you care about.
But after that, that's when I was like, all right, I gotta stop this whole fanboy line. That was the moment where I said I had to be better than that. All right, so iPhone 6.
Right.
You had the M8.
I had the M8 that summer. And the issue with the M8 is they took the criticisms from the M7 and made them worse. Because my camera on the M8 was actually worse because they kept the 4 megapixels and they were calling it ultra pixels. Mm-hmm. But they swapped it out to like a OEM part manufacturer that was way worse. The camera lens was plastic, so it was super easily scratched.
Oh, the lens itself.
So basically, worse camera, same... I'm not going to say bad concept because in the long run, the concept was pretty much, I'd say, correct. Bigger pixels, better photos.
Yeah, especially in low light. You just have to have the right balance in implementing that.
You know a lot more about cameras than I do.
No, not really. I have a camera, but it doesn't mean I know.
Oh, well, just roll with it.
I'm going to roll with it. I'm a part-time camera guy, too.
I'm looking at a Panasonic Lumix right now.
Yeah, G7.
Have you ever even whipped that thing out?
No, yeah. I've taken photos. I'm editing in Lightroom and doing this and that.
Oh, that's part of the world that your world that you hide from me, apparently.
Well, because I'm still learning. I don't even have that much time to get into it. I'm also trying to get into videography. So
okay.
Now, guys. I'm eyeing the Canon 6D Mark II. I'm waiting for that price to drop. I've seen it go down to $1,300, but
he's hinting at future projects we might follow up with.
Part-time gamers or gamer?
Part-time gamers.
Because we want everyone to be part of this.
Yeah, well,
amazing
also
experience.
it's me and you, plural.
Okay, that's just be us too.
It's a group activity. I like to think this podcast is kind of a three-way conversation. It just happens that the third party is mute.
Because you have no opinion at all that matters.
No, it matters, just not yet.
Not yet. Don't worry, we're trying.
You're gonna have to run. If we're gonna get any kind of feedback, you're gonna have to run the Twitter account. I don't have an active Twitter account.
Oh, it's probably taken. That handle's probably taken.
Well, we could always shorten it to PT Nerds.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. PT Nerds.
Oh, they're gonna confuse that with that nice little Hideo Kojima video game PT demo. Hideo Kojima, I never even tried it. I just watched my friend play it. It's a demo on the PlayStation 4 a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
It was gonna be a trail. It was just a demo, but it was supposedly leading up to a project of a new Silent Hill game.
Oh.
Norman Reedus showed up at the end of the demo.
And that's what led to...
But nothing came out of it.
Right, but I'm assuming that's how they established a relationship for...
Yeah, I think that's where their relationship
Stranding
started, and then they made a new project after he left Konami.
Okay. You were talking about iNexus and everything. That's your replacement for Android.
Yep.
You were working with that whole jailbreaking iPhone 6.
Yeah, and it was fun jailbreaking, just tinkering around, Googling different things, going to the forums.
Right, but there is something to be said about, the developer's intent, both with Google and iPhone. So eventually, I think after, half a year, you went back to stock.
Yeah, because every
iPhone
now and
6.
then, it just, the battery and just the stability of all, every now and then, even if it happened only once or twice a month, just that was enough for me. All right, I just want to go back to stock.
Yeah, and
iOS.
We currently live in a world where basically nobody jailbreaks their iPhone anymore.
Yeah, because it's not even really necessary now.
Yeah,
a lot of those features they took from those jailbreaking community and implemented it.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. You had that iPhone 6 for what, 4 years?
Three. Let's take it easy. 4 years.
I think it's closer on the tail end of 3 years, closer to 4 than there was 3.
Yeah, it's like over 3, close to 4.
But the whole reason was you just kept looking at Android phones and there was just nothing.
Nothing. So all right, this is the jump. I'm gonna pay premium price and I'm gonna make the jump.
Yeah, I think the closest we ever got was
the first Pixel.
It was the first Pixel. And Xperia Z5.
The Sony, yep.
Yeah, the Sony. Yeah. And we live in America, so their mobile division is kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, and it's good to point out that we were still in college, so we're trying to save up money. You can't just get a premium phone like that.
Were we in college for the Z5?
Yeah. The last quarter or two or so.
Anyways, I don't want to get into it, but the Z5 at the time was like the most beautiful phone in the world to me. Especially when it came into that teal turquoise green color. Whew.
The thing is, I wasn't sure if Google was going to support it all the way through for that long. And
they don't support it now.
I know, and I don't even know what Sony's doing now in terms of their endeavors in the smartphone industry.
We'll get into that in another day.
That's a separate topic and all on its own.
I'm a little mad with Sony on that front.
They're lucky they have PlayStation. They're just that's why they're still alive.
If the audience sticks around long enough, they'll realize I'm typically the saltier one.
Sony, if you want phones reviewed, we have Contran here, your biggest fan.
Oh, by the way, we are open to advertising deals with Sony. I'm willing to be a total sellout. Are you?
Yeah, the PlayStation 5 coming out. I'm sure we'll get an early model of that.
Yeah, that's true. I love PlayStation. But that Sony was never really an option for you. And then the first Pixel hit.
That was the first one where I was actually considering, this is it. This is the Android phone I want. It's perfect. It's stock. It's Google. It's going to get updates.
Turns out it was just...
Great camera.
Yeah.
The issue was...
No,
that was really good.
With the exception of the J.J. Abrams effect.
I see.
It was causing a constant lens flare.
That's weird. But for the most part, it's still a solid... I mean, compared to for all the Android phones out there, it's near the top with the S8. Or what was that? S7 at the time.
Yeah. Oh, the S7 was nice.
So... Oh, that's another phone that I considered. The issue is the software.
There's no way
everyone's heard this more.
The S7 was ever a real option for
Not a real option. I've always considered it, but then everyone knows, like you've heard it from multiple people. It's the software.
Yeah, they're looking nicer.
Holding back.
They're looking nicer, but in no way can they claim they look closely to a stock Android.
That's the thing.
Anyway, so I don't think we actually covered it. What was why you didn't go with the Pixel 1? The main reason,
the hardware design. The actual look of the phone. That was the main reason. I couldn't
look too good, right?
Like that, the panel, the metal and glass panel in the back. I couldn't dig it.
Well, with the black, it was like, it doesn't look too bad in the black. But the problem is with that statement. The phone doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, I'm jumping in with a new premium phone. I'm like, it isn't too bad. I can't just do just enough.
Yeah, you've invested 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, I waited this long. I'm not just gonna. It's pretty good enough. Especially
so
on the look
stuck
of the phone.
Around for another year. In the interim, I was HTC One M8, and then I jumped to the Xperia XZ, which was in retrospect not the greatest decision in the world. I was still in love with that Z5 design. The XZ did not look as good, but it was still kind of that symmetrical rectangle.
Yeah, you like the sharp corners. You don't like where the design's going right now with the rounded.
Turns out the sharp corners aren't too great because I actually have a very rectangular cut in my jeans.
Wait, really?
Sharp corners.
Are you wearing it right now?
No, not these jeans. My work jeans.
Okay. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, and the screen was still like average size. It was the same screen size as my previous HTC One M8.
But those bezels.
Yeah, but with the bezels and the sharp corners, the phone itself felt like an iPhone 6 Plus.
Oh, man.
That's what it felt like because the sharp corners. There's no, it's digging into your palm. That's... Anyways, that was a ordeal. We'll get more into my end. But finally, you jumped into the Google Pixel 2 XL how many months ago?
November. So just a few months ago. Not long ago at all.
Yeah, during that whole hype release period, you and I were always like, just, oh my god, this is going to be so beautiful. And then all the news broke about the screen.
Yeah, now we're back to the 2 XL. Yep, the screen. Yep,
this is the Google Pixel 2 XL.
The other issue is, too, when they started opening up the pre-orders, I wanted the white, the panda look.
Yep.
And those were gone in seconds. I was at work.
Which brings it back to how beautiful the Stormtrooper on the Nexus 5 was.
Exactly, it was really great.
It was a little reminiscent of that.
And even though this was an iteration on the first Pixel design, it's just much cleaner the way everything was put together.
They shrunk the glass. They moved the fingerprint sensor outside the glass zone. It looks. It's not the best looking phone in the world.
Yeah, but it's essentially what the Pixel 1 should have been in terms of its look.
Our biggest disappointment when the announcement was made was that the XL would have those 2017 bezels, whereas the regular Pixel 2 is going to look like every other bezel in the world.
It's weird though. Some people are actually sad about how big the Pixel 2 XL bezels are too.
Yeah, and
I've heard that. I mean, it's not the smallest compared to everyone else out there, like Samsung and all of them.
I see where they're coming from because when you can put it next to like a Galaxy S8,
then all of a sudden it looks huge.
Yeah,
but I mean, it has stereo speakers front firing at you, so I could take that compromise.
That's a
quote unquote compromise.
Right, that's a big deal to us, but I think in terms of like a mass market, I think it's safe to say most people don't care necessarily about built-in speakers on a phone.
Yeah, as long as it's loud enough they could hear their Snapchats.
Well, you used to be able to say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I use headphones anyways." You can't say that anymore.
Where are you gonna plug into, huh?
God damn it!
You're charging your phone. Then
that's probably the biggest disappointment for me in 2017 is
dongle life.
The death of the headphone jack.
Yeah. When do you think Samsung's gonna make the leap?
I honestly think that the S9 will have a headphone jack,
but
not the Note 9.
Oh, okay.
I think they'll get rid of.
How is that gonna? The Note's so much bigger though. They have space to work with.
Well, the thing with the Note,
there's no excuse.
The thing with the Note is that Samsung's never gonna be willing to get rid of the stylus. Mm-hmm. So that's already costing them space in terms of battery.
Yeah, especially with the Plus version of the S line.
Yeah.
And the Note, like what's differentiating the two?
Samsung's apparently proven last year. Was it last year that the exploding phone? Was that last year? That
was the last one. Yep.
Well, they've proven that they're having issues in terms of space inside the phone for the screen size they want. And it used to be that the Note was like the king of all phablets, and I think it's back.
Yeah, that was a great recovery on their end.
Yeah, like ridiculously amazing. I thought the Note.
I thought they were screwed market wise.
Yeah, I thought the Note was gone.
Yeah, the Note's gone. You're just gonna rebrand it or something, but they didn't. They stuck with the Note line.
Yeah. Samsung's the Star Wars of the phone universe. But back to my point was I think the Note 9 is gonna lose the headphone jack because they're gonna keep the stylus, and the Note line has been struggling a couple of years now in terms of battery life.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the
when people buy
long-lasting Note battery.
When people buy a phablet, they expect a large battery life, and the Note's battery life is kind of just okay because of what they're able to do with their bezels. With the addition of the stylus, I think they're gonna make the sacrifice on the headphone jack pretty soon.
Yeah, and years ago, big battery, long-lasting battery, removable battery. The Note was like the tech geek type of Android phone everybody wanted. And specs, everything.
Everybody's a strong term.
Okay, I mean everybody in terms of like the tech community,
the full-time nerds, and us too. That's fair.
Every now and then a part-time nerd, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, occasionally. Well, anyway, what the heck were we talking about?
Now I understand how people on podcasts just go off the rails. I don't even know.
It's fine.
Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
I got it.
You got it.
And then the issue with the screen.
The OLED screen on the Pixel XL2 is furnished by LG, and the issue with that is they have some crazy like blue shift coloring.
Yeah, their panels for smartphone size
which is strange
because their TVs are amazing. I guess they just couldn't figure it out on. Yeah, they haven't worked on the smartphone end of the panels.
Yeah, I've always thought it was funny with the way Samsung and LG are complete opposites.
They're complete opposites
because LG has had like the OLED screens on TVs for freaking since 2012.
Yeah, that's their market. They're the leader. Sony's in there, but they're priced better, everything.
But it wasn't up till this year that they had their first OLED screen on mobile on the V30.
That was the first OLED LG
panel? I think so, because the G6 is definitely LCD. And Samsung, on the other hand, they've had their OLED screens on their phones since like the HTC. Not the HTC. Wow. Which the first Samsung Galaxy S.
Really?
That was my first smartphone.
That was OLED?
Yeah, that was OLED.
Does there AMOLED technology? Damn.
Yeah, AMOLED.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my version was the T-Mobile version, so they called it the Vibrant.
But those weren't as great. Those pentile matrix for those first
I was not willing to admit that
at the time, but what about now? On the record. On the record.
But Samsung is yet I think they had an OLED panel at CES this year, but no. Did they?
I'm not sure. I wasn't keeping up with that on that.
Well, they don't have any consumer grade OLED TVs at this point.
Oh yeah, because I'm sure in CES they're showing everything off. Everybody's showing everything off.
Yeah.
But in terms of bringing it to the mass market, we don't know.
Yeah. So the biggest gripe that people have had with the screen is for the Google Pixel 2 XL was the
blue shift. But there's another thing too that I've noticed where if you have the brightness low enough and say a white page or so, it look a little grainy. I mean, you'll have to look at it and search for it, but it'll look grainy.
Oh, shoot.
It'll look grainy.
See, I thought you were gonna bring out the issue of the pink shift when you at low brightness. Is that not a thing?
Oh, I don't.
You haven't noticed that?
For me, I haven't noticed that.
Okay.
I noticed the blue shift and the graininess when the brightness is low and it's a white page.
Yep. And originally Google had calibrated to the sRGB standard. Mm-hmm. which is very it gave me flashbacks of the Nexus 5 screen.
It's pretty much a Nexus 5 in this day and age.
Yeah, so
normalizing this day and age.
So like a month after you bought it or you had it in your hand, they released the update for the Samsung effect.
Yeah, before I got that update, every day I would check.
Higher saturation.
I'd reload that.
And it looks good now.
update. No, it looks solid. Yeah. It's not the best looking one, but I mean it's good. It's really good.
It doesn't make you feel bad about spending that much money on it.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's not. Now it's just overblown, the issue with the Pixel 2 screens.
Right. And now
or XL screens.
I think we've talked in the past. The viewing angle is just not that big of a deal to you, right?
No, it's not a deal breaker, but I prefer having sick viewing angles.
It's freaking...
for me, I still have the Samsung S8 phones and then the iPhone 10s as the best OLED screens.
Okay, we're talking
smartphones.
ratings.
For smartphones, yeah. In terms of like, just looks good. Like, just offhand looking at it, not pixel picking. Oh, at first glance, this is good.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're pretty happy with your phone.
I enjoy it. I love my Pixel 2 XL.
Okay, well,
because another thing, camera is amazing.
Absolutely.
It's either
my God,
arguably the best. Yeah, like up there, or if not the best.
Yeah, the picture you took in Seattle was jaw dropping.
Thank you. Follow me at Raymond Aladino. You can find it there.
Nice.
On Instagram.
Is that your actual?
That's my handle in the Instagram.
Okay, nice. Oh, handle. That's the term I never use. That's why you're gonna have to run the Twitter.
But yeah, everything I shot. Oh my gosh, it was just
it's freaking 2. Beautiful. And you know what? I was talking to one of my buddies. He's kind of he's a part-time camera nerd.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was asking for him for recommendations for like points and shoots. And I think he recommended like the Canon G, was it a G7?
G7X or something like that?
G7X, the Canon G7X. And I'm like, okay, how does that compare to like the Sony...
the A7R2 or something like that?
No, the
mirrorless one?
No, just a point and shoot there. These.
Oh, the RX 100.
The RX 100, 1000.
I'm only part-time, I'm not sure.
Anyways, the RX, some iteration but number Mark 5.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about the issue with that version of Sony's camera is that it has waterproofing issues. It's kind of not reliable.
And it doesn't have a flip screen. It only angles. So if you're a vlogger out there.
And you can't hook up a mic to it, right?
And there's no mic input.
Yeah,
that's the big one.
That's a little ridiculous. But anyways, then he started asking me, like, why are you even asking about it? I'm like, I don't know. It's just a kind of background knowledge for me in case I ever want to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was talking, like, if that's the use case, you should probably just, buy your phone based on a camera. And
he recommended
And I couldn't argue with him because he has the Google Pixel 2, the regular one. Freaking, it's nice.
If you can't deal with the big size and you don't mind the bezels, that's the phone to get.
I had the HTC One M8, so
yeah.
I'm willing to sacrifice bezels for those speakers.
It's so good.
Yeah, they are.
And really the screen's amazing. It's Samsung's panel. You don't have to worry.
I was trying to avoid that subject. I didn't want to poke anything sore. I'm sorry.
No, that phone is amazing.
But yeah, the camera on the Pixel XL.
Both Pixels.
Both
Pixel 2s. They're amazing.
Freaking awesome. They got rid of the lens flare issue.
Mm-hmm. Now they have this dual pixel implementation where just
it's
shots
ridiculous.
Are better. They could do so much with just one lens where other companies are doing this dual lens setup and they could do just as well or better.
Okay, speaking of, if you're getting rid of things from smartphones, I think for 2018, I think something that needs to be killed in 2018 is dual cameras.
Well, dual cameras I don't mind. They're not doing it well enough. Because Google's showing them to justify it.
To justify how ugly it makes phones?
Yeah, the thing is, the issue is the look as well, the design. But you could do more with two lenses. It's just it's not enough to show how, because Google's just killing it with just one lens.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The dual cameras, I see the point. I just don't see the point that the people are, or most manufacturers are using the dual lens as a telephoto zoom.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good...
I don't think that's a good.
It doesn't even give you that much of a exactly.
Yeah, it's 2x.
Yeah, you're barely zooming in a little more.
Hey, it's 2x. Take a step forward.
Yeah, it should be helping you with some kind of the quality or something.
Yeah,
more data.
Other manufacturers are doing the black. What is the black and white?
Yeah, one's like a monochrome.
Monochrome lens. Thank you. That's the term I was looking for.
Just so they have more data on that side of the color spectrum.
Yeah, that's what they try to sell it as.
That's what they sell it, but is it actually working in that favor? I don't think they're doing well enough. Yeah, it's not doing well enough.
It doesn't make a difference. It's a marketing term.
Yeah.
And then the one exception I would say, again, my bias here, the one exception I would say is the LG the G5 and the G6. Mm-hmm. They do a dual lens.
Oh, the wide angle and then the
wide angle and then the regular. The wide angle is so freaking nice.
The wide angles are sick.
I don't know how to take a good photo, but the wide angle looks good.
Just get more in there.
Yeah. So I mean, to loop back to things after that, I had the Sony XZ for 9 months, 11 months, whatever it was. I switched over to the G6.
Oh yeah.
See, the problem with the G6. XZ is it came out at the wrong time in the world because it was a square phone with acceptable bezels.
What else was out at the time? Because I remember it was giving me crap for that.
So the XZ came out with it had its bezels, and I'm like, I'm fine. It doesn't matter. Most phones don't have. And then the S8 came out with its bezels, and
that's what happened.
And then every day I'm staring at my freaking XZ with these square bezels, and the speakers are terrible on it, so you can't even justify it.
Yeah, like what are those there?
And then it didn't have anything special about it. So except
the color.
The color's nice.
That was its unique factor.
But it just like the cohesion between the plastic and the metal was just terrible. Mm. Yeah, so once my rose tinted glasses for the for the design went away, I'm like, this phone is just so unremarkable.
It's just unremarkable.
So I bought,
especially for that price. It's not the best.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay, let's not talk about it. No, we're talking about it. On the record. But then swinging back to the Pixel 2 XL, besides the camera, the favorite thing is the battery.
Yeah.
It's having a battery, the battery life. I don't have to worry at all about having my battery completely drained by the end of the day. I always have enough. I don't have to worry about it.
Do you have a dedicated work phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing. But I mean, even on a normal day, I don't have to worry about my camera.
Okay.
On my off days.
Because I was going to say, ever since I started living that dual phone lifestyle, I'm the true iNexus, not you.
Oh no. I have both. I have my work phone as an iPhone.
Yeah, but ever since I had a work phone, I don't even battery life doesn't even register to me because I basically only have to get through half the day. But that's aside from the point. Yeah, the amazing battery.
The amazing battery.
That's
it's not the best. I mean, you can't get 2 days off of it. You'd have to work for it.
I don't think.
But my idea is the point is you shouldn't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have to monitor my battery throughout the day. And that's what I like about the Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap on our first subject. We were real efficient on that one.
Yeah, exactly. The point is, buy the Pixel 2 XL right now.
We don't have a sponsor code, by the way.
We don't.
No.
Promo code.
That's not a thing. You're just giving Google free money right now.
No.
Which I don't mind. I love Google. But, Google, you got a lot of spare change that you waste. I wouldn't mind seeing that come towards our way.
One more thing, though, about the Pixel 2 XL. Before getting that phone, the whole thing is with me not getting the Pixel 1 and waiting 1 more year was that 10th anniversary iPhone. That's the other decision I had to make. So I was waiting. This is it. A revised Pixel. They'll maybe fix the design. And then the 10th anniversary iPhone. Here we go. I got to make a decision.
And then it came out.
And then the notch came out, and I went with the Pixel 2 XL.
You know what? We've been talking about phones for a while now. Do you want to get into the iPhone X?
Well, that'll be another. That's another topic.
Okay, you want to save that for another day.
But we all know where I end up on Pixel 2 team.
Okay, so in summary, our current phones. You have the Pixel 2 XL.
Pixel 2 XL black. However, I have this white skin on the glass portion, so it's like a reverse panda.
Yeah. It sounds stupid, but it really does.
Yeah, it's pretty much a reverse panda.
But it looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
And I have the LG G6, which I bought used from my roommate. It's a holdover phone until we see what happens with the Pixel 3.
Oh man.
Yeah, I got a good deal on it, and the phone's
nice. Oh
no,
I know, yeah, because you can't. That Sony's not working. I'm just kidding. I hope they don't die. I hope they innovate somehow.
In 1 year, we'll see what happens, and I can get the...
And even though it's not OLED, the LCD panel is still really good.
Yeah. It used to be a big deal to me, but for me now, I don't watch much content on my phone anymore, so an OLED panel doesn't matter too much.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have that really nice, genuine leather skin that Slick Wraps does.
Okay, that's your phone, yeah.
Oh, we're not going to talk about Slick Wraps. Send me an email.
Yeah, we're talking about Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
We'll talk to whoever talks to us first about a sponsorship deal. Until then,
yeah, based off this podcast. We don't even know the time. Like, what?
Well, that's good. Just let it roll.
We're just letting this thing
roll. We're working
with
plenty of material here. Okay. Anyway, so next subject. And we are back.
Buddy.
A little bit of a crisis there. We just were planning on either taking a break or keep on recording.
It was just a part-time crisis.
Yep.
Not a full-on crisis.
We had to take a break, and then we turned over and looked at the screen. Apparently, the screen went to off. We weren't sure if anything recorded after 10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes were recorded, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to trim this down to about 10 minutes anyways. But crisis averted. We still had the project going. But originally, we had maybe 4 or 5 topics lined up, but we're pretty talked out at this point.
Yeah, plus we don't want to take too much of your time.
Well, the more time we take, the more sponsorships we can justify. Just FYI.
I don't know the algorithm, but...
There's no algorithms for podcasts. This ain't YouTube. We might put it on YouTube.
Oh, you're right. That's what we should be publishing. We should be publishing everywhere.
Yeah.
We should be publishing everywhere.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Not... This is for fun. All right?
Until
this is for fun, until it's not.
But anyway,
so we enjoy the content until we get to that point.
Yes.
And then you could hate us all you want.
Okay, anyways, we were recording an outro because this has been running a little long, but we do have a few subjects coming up.
Yeah, what?
Let's
tease it, like I said before.
I don't want to tease it, that's the thing. I don't want to make any promises I can't keep.
No, this is how you commit.
Anyways, we have a few more topics that we are going to cover. No promises, but we are looking at possibly talking about tablets, cinematic frame rates, our list of shame, TVs, games, things like that.
And then on the other side of things, since it's only part-time, we got the Kobe versus LeBron. And
yes.
And just NBA sports in general.
Yeah, that's actually the other half of Part-Time Nerds is that we want to be able to branch out. We weren't really sure how much we can talk about nerdy stuff, so be expecting us to branch out into other subjects.
Because these are things we really like, though. The sports, the technology. I mean, a lot of people like these things, but...
Yeah,
we love talking about it. We might as well record it. Yeah, see what people think about it.
Absolutely. I'm gonna redo the outro starting now. This has been Part-Time Nerds. We hope to catch you guys next time, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, if there's a next time.
See you later.
See you later,
part-timers.